welcome back to another video. Look what I have today. Today I have the 216 set of Ohuhu Alcohol Markers. Ohuhu was kind enough to send these to me for review, and so I'm very excited to share these with you all today. We will probably go ahead and take a look at all of the colors. We will swatch them out. And we are also going to most likely do a blend test towards the end of the video, like I do in all of my review videos. So if you would like to see that, do please stick around. If you check the description box below, you will find links for my Facebook group, my email list, and also my Patreon if you would like to support me there. I'm also now doing private coloring classes via Zoom. So if you are interested in those, you can email me at coloringwithpamela@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So y'all, when these came to me and I looked at the box, they came in a big, huge box, and I had no idea what they were because I couldn't believe they came so fast after I had talked to the rep at Ohuhu. They were here within 2 days. So that was pretty exciting. The shipping was really, really fast, and when I got the box, it was 9.7 pounds. So this is almost 10 pounds of markers. Is that crazy? The box was super heavy, and my kids were trying to carry it up the stairs, and they were like, "Mom, what's in here?" But I just thought that was a little funny thing I could share with you. I've already unboxed them, but this is the case they come in, and it is wonderful. Take a look at this case. So it's got the zipper around here, it's got a handle here, and then it has this other handle here that, as you can see, straps over here on the sides, and you can take it off, and it's super long and it's adjustable. So when you order these, you get this really nice case too. Let's go ahead and unzip this and take a look at all of these beautiful colors. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at all these markers. That's a lot of markers, y'all. Okay, so if you take a look at the case, you can see that there is an insert inside here, a very sturdy insert, and there are actually, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there are sections. So there are 6 sections. There's a section here, 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 and here. So it's separated into 6 sections. They come very out of order, as you can see. So they're just sort of all mixed up. Once you get them into perfect color family order, if you choose to do so, you can use these sections to be able to put like possibly all your blacks and your grays and colors of that sort over here, and then maybe do some kind of order in the case or within the case if you would like to do that. Now this sturdy little insert inside here, it is removable, so you can take this out if you wanted to be able to just set this part on your you know, in your coloring space or on your desk wherever you are doing your coloring, and you want to just take this out and set it there if you're not going to be traveling. But this case is just wonderful if you want to be able to take your coloring with you. And then it's got this shoulder strap, so you could just put it right on your shoulder, grab your coloring books and your other supplies, and take it right along with you. So I think that is really, really neat. But if you wanted to just work at your workspace, you could pull this out of here, and you don't even have to worry about this case, and you could set the case aside, fold it up, and put it away. Now, if we look inside here towards the front, let me pull this up just a little bit, but towards the front of it, if I pull this out, it comes with their little information sheet here. So it just says Ohuhu Art Markers, Honolulu Series, brush and chisel. So these are the brush markers. They're brush on one end and chisel on the other. And if I open this up, it's going to tell us a little bit about the company here. What is Ohuhu? It tells you about the company here. What is Ohuhu doing? And then it tells you a little bit here about their markers and the different varieties that they have. Let me hold this a little closer so you can see it. But it tells you about the different varieties and what is currently available. And then if we look over here, it shows you all of the different colors in sort of a color wheel. And over here, it's showing us all the different colors that come in the set. Look how pretty some of these colors are. and they look like they are more in order here. So it's telling you here at the top that you're going to get 216 colors, and then you're going to get one colorless blender. So there's actually 217 markers in here, but one is a blender. So let's put that away and see what else we get here in this set. So here we have all of the swatch sheets. So if you wanted to swatch your pencils out on here and then stick this in the front back in the front of your case, you can do that. And then take the swatches along with you. And that's probably better when you're using these markers if you want to travel with them, rather than using a big 8x10 sheet and having to lug that across town or wherever you're going, if you're going to sit in a coffee shop or whatever, and you just want to bring your things with you and you want to color. So it looks like, I don't know, we're going to find out later how in order this swatch actually is. It looks like a lot of it is in color families if I'm looking at the different letters that identify each one of the colors on here. And I'm trying to see if it looks like the colors also have names. I'm going to do a speed swatch, I believe, in this video, and I'm going to try to swatch out all 216 of these in this video. Call me crazy, but I want to be able to do that, and I want to have them for myself because I've been wanting these markers for the longest time. Y'all have no idea. So I feel so lucky and so blessed to have these now. So you also get this sheet here, and then it says, if you are coloring on thin paper, please put this pad between your coloring sheets to prevent any bleed through. So you would just take your coloring book and you've got this to just slide behind the page, and so it's not going to bleed through. Now I do want to mention, if you're coloring in a coloring book that only has, or that does not have the one-sided pages and it has another picture on the other side, then you may experience bleed through. But if you put this behind, you're not going to get any bleed through on the other side or on the other coloring page if you are coloring in a one-sided coloring book. Before we take a much closer look at these markers, let's go ahead and talk about pricing. Now, we all know that we have the very popular artist grade Copic markers, and they are very, very expensive. These are a wonderful budget alternative. And so if you go on Amazon right now, they are actually $159.99, which is a fantastic deal for 216 markers. This is a lot of markers. Like I said earlier, this is almost 10 pounds of markers, which is just crazy to me. I can't wait to be able to use these. So they are $159.99 right now on Amazon, and there is also a coupon on there for an extra 5% off if you were to purchase them now. So for $159.99, you're going to get 216 markers, which is extremely budget friendly and a fraction of the cost of what you're going to pay for something like Copics. And this is great for those of us that are coloring in coloring books, because we don't necessarily need something like Copics. I mean, yes, they are nice to have, but those of us that are coloring in coloring books, these are also very nice to have. And for me, these are a real treat, and I'm very excited to have them. Within this 216 set of alcohol markers, you are going to get their 120 color set. You're also going to get their 48 pastel set. So those of you that have been holding out and haven't purchased that pastel set, this is a great option to be able to get those included in here as well, along with their 120 set. It also includes their 48 mid-tone color set. Now, to be able to get all of their colors, you would have to purchase this 216 set and the 36 set of skin tone colors. But if you do that, you will actually have 12 colors that are overlapping. So you would end up getting 2 of 12 of the colors, because only some of the colors from the skin tone set are included in here. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at these markers. So it says Ohuhu Art Marker right on them. They are going to be white, and the writing on them is in silver, so they really do stand out. Over here, you are going to have a little note here that tells you that you are going to have the broad tip on this side, and then of course the brush tip over here on this side. Now, if you look at the tips, let me turn this around so you can see, but it is color coded, And I believe that the letters stand for the color family that they would fall under. So of course this one has an R. This would be red, and V may be something like violet. Then they have the number that goes along with that. And then of course it's really great because these actually have a name on them. Now I have some Cali Art markers and they don't have names, so it gets a little bit frustrating. I don't know if Cali Art now has names on their markers, but when I purchased mine a few years ago, they did not. And that is the only set of markers that I currently have, and those are not even a brush tip. That's why I'm so excited about these, because I only have one other smaller set of Cali Art, and so these are like a dream for me to be able to have. Let's go ahead and pull another one. So this one, as you can see, again, they are color coded, and this one is GY4. And so the G would stand for green, and I would assume that the Y would stand for yellow, and then the 4. And this one does say yellow green. So here is the brush tip. Now the brush tips are reversible, so you don't have to worry about if you were to get a frayed tip. You can just pull the tip out and turn it around because they are reversible, which is really, really wonderful. So let's take a look at the other side. This side is going to be your broad tip, and of course we're all familiar with the broad tip. That is what that looks like. And if you want to cover more space, you would generally use the broad tip, and if you wanted to be able to do fancier strokes and be able to change the pressure and what you're producing on your coloring pages, you would tend to use the brush tip for that. So before I get into the swatching of these beautiful alcohol markers, I know that I'm going to get a lot of questions about paper. Now, when you're using alcohol markers, and for those of us that are copying our coloring pages out of a coloring book, or you're printing from a PDF and you don't color in the coloring book, and you want a paper that's going to work really well and really make these alcohol markers work the way that they should so that their blendability is really smooth and they're really nice to use, this is the paper that I use. Now, I purchased this paper on Amazon. The paper is absolutely wonderful, and it works really well with my Cali Art markers, which are also alcohol markers. And I'm sure that it'll work beautifully with these as well, or with any alcohol markers you may be using. But this paper is fairly cheap. It's only $13.98 on Amazon. I will have the link for this paper down in the description box below if you're interested in picking some of this up. And the next thing I want to talk to y'all about is, since most of us that watch my channel are colored pencil enthusiasts, is that what you want to call us? Colored pencil collectors? I don't know, but I just want to talk a little bit about how you can use your colored pencils with alcohol markers. If you look at this page I colored here, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites that I've colored. And I actually have a whole base of markers on this page. There's actually, I believe, a background tutorial on my YouTube somewhere. If I could find it, I will make sure that's linked in the upper right hand corner. But there is some type of tutorial for this page on my YouTube, and I'll make sure that's linked for you. I'm pretty sure it's the background and then how I did these little stars here. And I'm pretty sure the background is all black marker, but the whole page has a base of marker. And then I used my Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils to create all of these shadows that you see, and even some of the highlights. And I did it throughout the whole entire page. And then of course this page is very mixed media. So up here, this is a lot of gel pens. And then of course you can see the glitter. I don't know, maybe you can see it if I hold it closer, but she has glitter here, glitter on her eyes. And this page is just very much mixed media. I believe she has Posca pen all down here on her pants. But the entire base of the whole entire page is definitely marker, and the paper that I used is that paper that I just showed you a minute ago, and it worked beautifully with my alcohol markers. This one here, this is actually from a Deborah Moeller book, Naughty or Nice Pinup Girls, and I colored this one right in the book. And I wanted to be able to show you this because I know a lot of us are sort of, I don't know, kind of cautious, I guess, when it comes to the Amazon paper. And so I wanted to be able to show you all this so you can see that you can still color on the Amazon paper and you could use different mediums, because this page here is very mixed media. I've got Posca pen thrown on here. I've got glitter thrown on here. I have gel pen, and the whole entire base is markers. All of her clothes and everything. All of this here, that is all a base of markers. And then I went over that with my colored pencils. And I believe that for this one, I probably used Prismacolors. And then the background, I believe, is done with pastels, probably the Jane Davenport pastels. So I wanted to be able to show you, I did put something behind when I was working on this, and this book is one-sided. So you can see, like I was trying to explain to you earlier, that it will go through to the other side, but it's not going to affect the other page on the other side. Now, if you use a little handy dandy sheet here or pad here that Ohuhu sends you, you would just take that and you would insert it behind your page, and then you can lay down your marker base if you wanted to come back and lay your colored pencils over it. So there's always that option. So that's really neat that they send you one of those with this set. I have the color swatches that came with this huge set of markers. And so I've got color swatch 1, 2, and 3. And this feels like just a heavy cardstock, which I'm sure it'll be fine to go ahead and swatch on these. And that is what we are going to do now. It may take me a while, so I am going to speed this up, but I just wanted you all to be able to see the colors that come in this set. I've gone through the entire set of markers, and I just wanted to let you all know it is really easy with the color-coded tips to be able to just pick out the colors so that I could lay them down here. I've already picked them all out, and they were really easy to identify, and I've got them all in order. So starting here, going this direction so that I could swatch these. And then I have the next set that I need over here, starting over here and going this way. And I am just going to go ahead and do a speed swatch so y'all could see the beautiful array of colors that come in this set. Now, when I finish doing the swatch, the objective for me here is to be able to take all of my yellows and put them in one separate compartment and do that with all of the other color families, so that now by the time I finish filming this video, I will have all of my markers in color family order according to their numbers. So let's go ahead and get into the swatching now. have now swatched out all 216 colors, and let me tell you, this was a project. But I'm glad it's done, and I'm glad I was able to do it all and film it all. But look at all of these gorgeous colors. Now, I wanted to show you, I pulled just a few of the markers, and I wanted to show you how they match up as far as the color that you see on the tips of the markers. So if we look at this one here, this one is V230. And so right here we have V230. And so I'm going to hold it up really close and just show you that the colors are pretty close to what you see on the tip of the marker. And I'm going to show you a couple others. I also have, let's see, B120. So let's look for B120. And it is right here. So if I hold this up right next to it, it looks like the swatch is a tad bit darker, but it is pretty close. And then I pulled an orange color so we can sort of get an idea from a couple different color families, but this one is YR3. And so let's find YR3. It's right here. And look how close that is. I mean, they're a little bit different, but they're really close. So I just wanted to be able to show you that. Let's go ahead and take a look at these colors. Here's the first swatch, and I really like the order that they have them laid out. And I'm glad that I used these little cards, because now I could just take them and I could stick them right in the front of the compartment and always know where they are, rather than keeping them on a huge 8x10 size sheet. So we start with the yellows, and we've got some really pretty shades. Here we have a really pretty pale orange and some more yellow. So they pretty much have all the yellows and oranges all in the upper section here. And then we get like some peachy tones. Look at this beautiful bright peachy color. It's called Mellow Peach. That's really beautiful. You get a good amount of pinks. There's some more brighter pinks down in here. And we get a really good selection of reds. Now, like I said earlier, the R here, that is going to stand for red. And so it's just letting us know what color family that particular marker belongs to. So you see here, you've got a lot of R's. So we have a lot of shades of red in this set. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. So here's our second color swatch. And of course you could see we're still on the R's, and we start with a color called Light Prawn. And then we start moving into our purples that have a little bit of red in them. And then we get into our true purples. So you can see here we've got our P, signifying that these are purples. And then we've got quite a few purples. And then I would think that the V might mean violet, but I'm really not sure. But all of those look like they're shades of violet to me. And of course, violet would just be, you know, purple and pink sort of mixed together. And there's some really beautiful shades there. Then of course we have our B right here. So then we're getting into the blues. And so we're starting out with our lighter blues, getting into our much deeper, more vibrant blues. And they've got some gorgeous blues in here. And then we get into our teals over here, and then of course into our greens. Look at these all these beautiful, bright, vibrant greens. You all know how much I love my bright, vibrant greens, and then my very pale blues. I love that they have a really pale blue. This one's more of a grayish color. Of course, it's called pale grayish blue, so that's really pretty. And then we've got another really light blue over here called Frost Blue. That's a pretty color too. And then let's get over here. Let me go ahead and zoom you in just a little bit. But now we're on the last swatch, and we're getting into our greens. Well, we actually started our greens up here, as you can see, and then we move into our greens more over here onto this swatch. So we've got some brighter greens in here. We've got what looks like a more appley type green there. Well, grass green is what they're calling it. Bud green, yellow green, sugar cane. That's a gorgeous greenish yellow color. Of course, you can see this one is color coded, and it says GY, so of course that stands for green yellow. And then we've got some more greenish yellow shades. All of these are greenish yellow shades all up in here, and they're really pretty. And this one is a darker green, but I guess still has a little bit of yellow in it. And then we get over here, we start lightening up again. We've got a really beautiful mauve type color here. This one's called Lipstick Natural. And then we get into what looks to be more of our beige type colors. Of course, this one's called Brick Beige. And then we've got some beiges here. This one looks like it has a little bit of a rosy type color in it, or like a little bit of orange or something, or maybe pink. Of course, it's called Rose Beige. So then we get into our warm grays. We have quite a few warm grays over here. And then we get into our cool grays. So we've got a cool gray here, and then here, and here, and here. And all through here, all cool grays right to here. And then we've got our neutral grays from here, and then down into, we have, I think, 9 of them. So they go to here. Then we've even got some red grays, which is really cool. There are so many colors in this set, and so many different color families just that come together. And it's just, I don't know, they've got some really gorgeous colors here and some very different colors. So we've got red grays, and then we've got more red grays down here. And then we've got green grays. I love green grays. That's a beautiful color. As you can see by the color coding, these are GG, so that would stand for the green gray. So we've got green grays, and they go all the way to here. We've got quite a few of them, I believe 6 of them. And then we get into our yellow grays. Look at that. How pretty. Those look sort of like what you would get in the French grays in your Prismacolor set if you were trying to match up your pencils to your markers when you want to do something like I was talking about earlier, where you use your markers and then come over and lay a, add your highlights and your shadows with your pencils. And then we've got some blue grays. Look at all these gorgeous colors, and they're so different. I love this set. This is really, really nice. And then, of course, we've got our black way down here at the end. And then, of course, you get a blender marker. You get one blender marker in here. But these are all the colors, and they are really beautiful. You get so many different colors in this set. I am so excited to start using these in my coloring books, just the way that I told y'all I was going to be using them. If you want to see a video where I do a base of markers and then come back and add all the shadows and the highlights and things like that to the page or the object on the coloring page, let me know. I actually do have a video like that, and I'll link it up in the upper right hand corner, but I'd be glad to do more. Let's go ahead and do a really quick blend test because goodness, this video has been going on already for hours and hours. I've been filming for 3 hours already because it took so long to organize this set. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to show you. I want to show you what they look like now that they're all organized after I went through and I did all of this. If you don't remember what they look like earlier at the beginning of the video, you can go back to the beginning of the video and you can see the order that they were put in, but they were just really scattered and there was no organization to them at all. But after I finished that little project that took me 3 hours, this is what they look like now, and they're all in some sort of color family order. So we've got our yellows, and then our reds and our blues, and then I came over here with the greens. I actually probably should have gone like this, and I didn't. I may fix it later, but that's usually how I do it when I do my pencils. And I guess in the middle of that tedious project, I just didn't do it. But then I came over here with the blue greens and the greens into the browns and the grays and the beiges, and then of course our grays over here. So that's what they look like now, and they look like they are a lot more in order, and they've got this beautiful case that they are all nice and snug in. You can tell that there is not a whole lot of, I probably could have left a lot more room up here. I've got these in here really snug. I'll probably move a little bit of them down and rearrange them just a little bit because these move around quite a bit more, and I've got a lot of room in there, so I'm probably just going to pull them over a little bit. But they all fit nice and snug into this case, and they've got some kind of order now, so I really, really love them, and I can't wait to start working with them in a coloring book. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to get out that hammer mill paper that I showed you earlier, and we are going to do a little bit of a blend test to test these out and see how they blend, because I don't want to, after all this time I've already put in, I don't want to just leave you here with not demonstrating the markers. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I have my hair removal paper and I am going to go ahead and do a blend test for you, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention and let you know this is why it is so important to always swatch whatever medium you're using, whether it's colored pencils, your alcohol markers, or something like your Inktense pencils. Anything that you're using, it's really important to swatch them. When we get into things like glitter and things like that, you can clearly see through the clear bottle what they are. I know some people get into swatching their stickles, but I don't do that. But if it's a medium like this, especially when they're budget friendly and they may not necessarily match the barrel on the pencil or the tip on your marker, it is just very important to have all your colors laid out. And this is why, because I'm trying to put some colors together that I want to be able to do the blend test with. And so this really helps me a lot because I could see the colors and I could choose what I feel like would blend together the best. I have here R9. And where's R9 on our sheet here? So here's R9. And that was what I was going to use from a mid-tone. And then I've got R4. So we've got R9 here. And we have R4 over here. So we're here and here. And then I need something a little bit lighter. And I'm thinking maybe this RV260, which is pink. So I have my 3 colors and we are just going to do a really quick blend test. I think I'm going to start with my lightest color and I'm going to lay some of that down. These are really, really juicy too. They are, when I was swatching them, they were just wonderful. So let's add our second color and see if we can put some of that in here. And then we are going to add our third color. So when you're using alcohol markers, you just sort of come back and forth. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to go over this color and pull it down. And look how they just blend so beautifully together. Then I'm going to come back with my lightest color. And I'm going to go over that and pull that down just a little. So they blend together pretty well. I wanted to use colors from the red family or like shades of pink because I wanted to be able to, or I wanted it to be seen on camera. Okay, so I'm just going to come back over here one more time and see if I could get a better blend there. But when you're working with alcohol markers, you need to do it pretty quickly before they dry, and I probably was not fast enough. I don't know. But it looks like it blended pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and try another color. Let's maybe try something or some shades of blue possibly, and we'll see what happens with that. If you were curious what colors we used here, this was R4, which is called Deep Red. And then R9, which is called Pastel Rose. And then pink, which is RV260. So those were our 3 colors that we used. And if you're curious if the tip matches up to what you see here, I'll go ahead and lay them right here like this. Now see how this one does not match, like I told you all about budget-friendly markers. So the few that I showed you earlier, they did match, but you can see here that this one, if you look at the paper, is much darker and has a little bit more orange in it, it looks like, than what you would see on the tip here. But this one here is pretty close. Now I chose some shades of blue, so I've got 3 colors here. And the ones that I chose are B290. So B290 is right here. You could see that the color down here is probably a little bit darker than what you see on the tip of the marker. And then I have B140, so B140 is right here, and then I have B120, which is right here. So we're using these 3 colors, and here is the B120, and it matches pretty closely. I think maybe this time I'm going to go ahead and use the brush tip. So let's go ahead and start with our darkest color, and I'm just going to lay some of that down there. These are so juicy, my goodness. These are really nice markers. Okay, so the brush tip, now I'm going to come in from this color and I'm going to pull this down, creating my transition there. If you just go over that a little bit, it'll pull the color down into the center. And that's basically how these markers work. They're really easy to blend. And then this is my lightest color, so I'm just going to go over that area a little bit more and then pull the color down. Oh, I think I like the brush tips way more. Look how nicely that blended. Wow, that's really pretty. Yeah, I think I did this one a little bit faster than what I did that one because I was spending too much time talking. So it's those colors, and they blended really, really nicely. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and try out one more because I really wanted to see how these greens blended together. But I have GY42. So right here, I'm using some more of this is like a mossier type green. It's called bronze green. So I've got that color. And then I believe I have this GY2. Yeah, GY2, which is right here. So here, here. And then I wanted to be able to use this beautiful GY7 here and see how those blended together. Okay, so I'm going to use the broad tip for this one. And I'm going to lay down my darkest color first. And I'm not going to talk so that I could go a little bit faster. Oh, these blend together beautifully. And then I'll come over this one and just pull it down, go over and create that transition. And those did not blend as well, but probably because the difference in the color is a lot more. Let's see if I could fix it. And then pull it down into that color just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. There's probably too much of a transition between this color and this color, but this is the blend test, and I feel like they blended together really nicely, especially this blue here. I love how those colors just worked really, really well together. And of course, I am so much more familiar with colored pencils, and I wanted these because I really want to increase my skills with alcohol markers. And I know with alcohol markers, you need to be a little bit more careful when you're putting the colors together because the colors need to be probably a lot closer in value. Like these over here, there is a huge difference in this transition here between this one and this one. And I could probably go and look at my swatch and grab another color and fit it in there and bring it all together, but that is for another video. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I loved organizing all of these, and I'm so glad it's over and done with. This was a huge project. I'm so excited that I was able to film all of it. Thank you so much, Ohuhu, for sending me these for review. I really appreciate it. Check the description box below. You will find a link for these markers as well as links down there for my Facebook group. I would love to have you join us over there. There will also be a link down there for my Etsy store if you're interested in digital content for your colored pencils. And I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.